So, how many campers do you really need to finally get the perfect one?
The perfect one?
The perfect one.
I don't know the answer to that.
Well, let's find out.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Pastor Dave.
And I'm Pastor Jenny, and we are
the PortaParsonage, ministering where you are. Today we want to just share with you kind of our RV journey. We shared a little bit in the previous video how PortaParsonage was born, about our first couple of campers. And I remember when we went to pick that one out, we picked up our little pop-up, and we had another one that we really liked. It was larger, it had a really nice floor plan. It was our first
It's
choice.
our first pick, yeah.
But we got looking at it, we stepped in it. You know, sometimes when you get those used campers, they have that smell. Yeah,
you got to be careful. There's that smell, and oftentimes I think what we're smelling is some mildew. And the last thing you want in a pop-up camper is mildew.
So we bought a smaller one that was our better choice.
Yes.
It was our best choice given the circumstances. And
Yep.
So then we had to have the hitch put on the Rendezvous. We had a Buick Rendezvous at the time. And
This was in 2006, correct?
2006, yes. And we bought a little Viking pop-up.
Yeah.
You'll be able to see the pictures as we go through our conversation here together. And we made a lot of little upgrades in the camper, just some little things that
Well, keeping in mind that this was our first time. I mean, we just didn't know what we needed, and so the first thing that I did was overbuy.
we bought.
Yeah.
We bought everything.
Nobody needs that many dishes in a camper. Nobody needs that much toilet paper in a camper. We probably owned 4 or 5 tablecloths just because you just keep buying.
Yeah.
I think the first thing we learned to do is not overbuy.
But it was already too late.
Yeah.
It was our second season. Okay, so we bought it in 2006. We bought the camper in the summertime, and then we went on the next summer and realized that, you know what, we just needed a porta potty.
We did.
So we bought a porta potty. We got this nice little tent that you can get for them.
Yep.
And we never used it.
No.
I set up the tent a couple of times just so I could show Jenny what it looked like with the potty in there, and we never used it. It was that summer that we traded.
Right. I got home from work, back to the campground after work, and he had worked to set up that pop-up and forgot his hat, so his head was burned. He felt miserable, and we wanted something just a little bit easier. So we went shopping.
In August of 2007, we bought the Kodiak Hybrid. We bought it brand new.
It was the best of both worlds because it had the tent, the canvas ends. One of the big deals was I had to be able to put those down by myself and put them up by myself, and I could do that while he was working on some other things. It had its own bathroom, so that was wonderful, and it gave you the feel of sleeping in a tent, even though you worked.
Right. Well, then we discovered. Well, and so it was at the same time. We knew when we traded that we had to have a new vehicle, so we bought a used Mercury Mountaineer, and really enjoyed the Mountaineer.
Yep.
It was pretty loaded, and it did a nice job towing the camper, but it was right on the edge of what it was supposed to tow.
Yeah.
And we figured if we loaded the camper, then we'd be overdoing the Mountaineer. So we found this nice 2007 Chevy Silverado hybrid. It was a kind of a partial hybrid. When you stopped, it would turn off, and when you let off the brake, it would start up again. And then we found out
how much it would cost when that battery was done, and we were right on the edge of having to replace that battery to where the battery warranty would run out, and most of the batteries were dying, and we said we don't want that expense because that too was just on the edge. We knew that if we ever upgraded campers, we would not be able to tow a heavier camper.
Right.
I think the second lesson is before you buy anything, make sure that you have the right vehicle and the right camper match, and always make sure your vehicle can do a little bit more than what you've got, because every camper we've owned was our last camper.
That's
we were
right.
going to own it forever.
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
yes.
so what happened in the next time?
So before that happened in 2010, we bought a new Chevy Silverado crew cab. Loved that truck.
Yep,
it
great
was
truck.
A great truck, nice and bright red. Not that that's my favorite, but they didn't have blue.
Yeah.
And it was everything that it would tow this camper with no problem whatsoever. I never knew the Kodiak was back there.
Yeah.
And then one day, as we were camping, we decided to stop and look at another dealership, and
Another hybrid. They had another hybrid camper, and
it was an Apex.
it was all
called.
set up. Well, I don't remember if it was set up, but what we could tell from the back end is that our beds that came down out of the camper folded down about halfway up. These started at the floor. So you just walked in to your bedroom. You didn't have to climb in.
Walk around queen
bed, and we thought that was just everything.
So we impulse bought that.
Impulse buying. I don't know how many campers, if I could see you raise your hands, how many of you have impulse bought? Yeah, it's a danger, and if you're just starting out, be aware. Because once we got that, the Apex, it was a great camper. We did like walk around bed, but now instead of on a mattress, regular mattress, we were sleeping on an air mattress.
It was a big air mattress. It was pretty high off the ground.
And we have to pump that up. Now you have to worry about leaks.
Yep, pumping it up, deflating it, storing it properly, all of that.
Yeah.
And it was really, it became quite a...
Yeah, and the quality of this one didn't
heavy.
match up to the Kodiak.
The Kodiak seemed to be good, solid, well made, and the Apex just
not.
wasn't
Details,
there.
details, screws, cabinets.
Missing, loose, and
Now, we loved the canvas in all three of those campers. We really did. We loved that feel of sleeping in a tent without sleeping in a tent. Check our past story for that. That's not happening again. So you kind of had the best of both worlds. But one of the issues was I spent a great deal of time drying that canvas, making sure that every inch of it was dry. The seams were dry. When we got home, we had to open it back up, make sure everything was dry. If we closed it on a wet day, it was miserable. And it was always fussing with that, because the fear is if you get mildew in your canvas, you've ruined your camper. It just never is right.
Yeah. Well, that was in 2012. Okay, this happens to everybody.
Okay.
All right. But that was 2012, and it was a brand new camper. It was a year on the lot. So we got a really good deal on it, and the truck could tow it no problem, because it was still a lightweight camper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although it was quite a bit larger than what we had before. Then was after that we got moved. Actually, we'd already been moved. We were up in the North Country,
up in Ogdensburg, New York, up on the St. Lawrence River.
And in 2015, the summer of 2015, we decided
just took a drive
out into to Amish country, looking for cookies and bread and some things that they had, and at the last minute decided to stop in and visit a dealership there on our way back.
We just
home.
like to look, okay? So if you ever hear yourself saying, I just want to look, be cautious. Be cautious.
Did we ever find the bread?
I don't know.
I think we did get a couple chocolate chip cookies.
Okay, but
and that was nice.
But we stopped in at this dealership, and we were just looking, wandering around. We like to go into different campers.
We had already stored our camper there over the winter.
We did.
And they serviced our camper there.
Yes.
So it was
they took
good.
care of us well. But we saw there a V-Light.
Yes.
That always made me curious. I always loved the V-Light.
They're the ones, they've got the V
trailers.
front end.
Right. And so anytime I saw one, I went and took a look at it, and it was kind of a dream that I had. We walked into this one, and it had the kitchen up in the front, up in that V section up front, and I loved that layout.
So that meant the rest of the main part of the camper was living space, living room space.
Nice space.
So, and then it had an amazing master bedroom. The living room had a slide with a couch on it.
Right.
And then the master bedroom with a queen
bed
bed
slid out.
had a slide, and they had the closet and everything, and it was just wonderful.
So,
and that put our truck right on the edge, but we ran with it anyway because we just never did load that camper up.
yeah, we were careful with that, and that served us well for a while. And again, you run into that grass is always greener. Right?
Yeah,
we wanted the next bigger. We wanted the next whatever. We wanted the V-Light. It was our dream. We could afford it.
Everything that
had
we
everything.
It was the perfect.
It was going to take us into retirement.
Our retirement
Absolutely.
home. That was it.
No question.
And then in 2018, we went camping. In July, we went out and camped in Bliss, New York, and spent the week hiking Letchworth State Park, and one day we took and went over to Stony Brook State Park in Dansville and hiked there and really enjoyed that, and our vacation was over and we were on our way home. And we got to chatting.
So we've often talked about a motorhome, and I have said from the beginning that I didn't like the idea of a motorhome. I don't want my vehicle and my house hooked together, because if anything goes wrong with the vehicle and that vehicle has to go into the garage, so does all your food, so does all your clothes and your toothbrush and
everything.
Yep. And then where are you? But
we decided to stop by another dealership
and just look.
Take a look, just to see if it was something that possibly we felt like we could do in the future and manage that kind of an adjustment.
So we looked at a few. We kept telling the salesman, no, we're just looking, until we found our Mini Winnie. And we walked in, and we were both sold pretty quick.
Yeah. We thought it was brand new. It was in the showroom.
Yep.
And it looked terrific. We found out afterwards it was used. When we asked about the price, why is the price of this one so low?
As compared to another one. And he said, well, this one's used.
And so it was perfect.
Yeah. It had been used as a rental. So there were some weird things. There was some minor damage we just discovered on some of the doorways and so forth, but nothing major, nothing we couldn't deal with.
Because it was a rental, it came with something that even the dealer didn't know about. I decided to go up the ladder in the back and check the roof.
Should always check your roof before you buy.
And guess what? There was a solar panel on the roof.
Yep.
Well, I got really excited about that, and I said, "Oh, we got something here that we could work with."
Yeah.
And before we were done, we traded the truck and
they took the
camper, and
they took the Silverado, which wouldn't start half the time anymore. I mean, we had beat on that thing. And I mean, we tried, but it had aged and it had a lot of miles on it. Had a lot of towing miles, so it worked hard.
Yeah.
But took the whole thing, and remember I said that the grass is always greener. You know, that V-Light, the dream camper. What we discovered is that's not easy to park, and it's not easy to secure, and it's not easy to level, and it's not easy to store, and all of these issues that we were beginning to run into. And then we had power issues.
We had problems with the electric tongue jack, and I at least a couple of times had to hand crank that. We had trouble with the motors and the slides, and there were a couple of times that I had to hand crank those. And then there were the electric stabilizer jacks, and I had to. In fact, when we traded it, the day that we traded it, one of the slides wasn't working, and the stabilizer jacks weren't working.
And remember that when you get a vehicle like this, be it a travel trailer or any size camper, I mean, even a pop-up, If it's brand new, most people will say, well, just go back to the dealer or just go back to your service agent. But that's not as easy as saying taking a toaster back to Walmart.
No.
You can't just run over to your local Walmart, hand them the broken one, and get a new one. And it's an all-day or multiple-day project if you need work done on your vehicle. So you just need to be prepared. Be aware that things happen.
And another thing about that, when you buy brand new, you are expecting that everything is going to work, that there's no problems. And we have discovered that there are problems. When you buy used, under most circumstances, the issues have already been taken care of.
Right.
And so we've had no issues with this Class C at this point, and we're really pleased with that.
Yeah. The other thing we've discovered is whenever we bought brand new, I never wanted to change anything because I was afraid of depreciation. I was always afraid. We just bought this brand new. You can't take out that cupboard, or you can't move that thing, or you can't. This was used. I told him, have at it. Do what you want. And in another episode, we'll take you through the renovations that we made on this one. And that has been a ton of fun. Really enjoyed.
Come here, Bella.
Really enjoyed that. Want to introduce you to Bella and Fritzie. This is Fritzie. He generally is in my arm.
Bella.
And
let's see what we can do here.
This is Bella. Bella is afraid of the laptop. Okay, so that's how fun Bella is.
Yeah.
And you can edit that out if you need to.
All right, we'll figure it out. So we appreciate you being with us.
Yes, yes.
We look forward to getting together the next time, and click like if you like the video. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell notification, and then you'll know when the next video comes out, where we take you through the renovation of our 30-foot mini Winnie.
And truly, if you have questions, if you are new at this, don't hesitate to ask. We don't know all the answers, but we have learned so much.
Learned a lot.
And we've learned the hard way. Don't learn the hard way.
So
okay?
You can find our email and our webpage in the show notes, and you can contact us through that.
Yeah. Happy travels.
Bye-bye.